Hi, my name is Mason Hansey, and this is the science behind nuclear bombs. What is a nuclear bomb? A nuclear bomb is defined as an explosive device that derives its destructive force from nuclear reactions, either through fission or from a combination of fission and fusion reactions. The use of the atomic bomb in history. There's only 2 recorded uses of the bomb in action, this being in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. As you know, that was conducted by us. Hundreds and hundreds of tests have been conducted since, and the science behind them is something that we have learned more and more of in the years since. This was tests conducted by the US, Russia, England, and other superpowers that decided to use or partake in nuclear bombs. The sheer amount of energy was something of which the world had never seen and had many lasting effects seen in generations after. I'll touch on that in a bit. And the silent killer in this bomb was radiation, and something we will touch on later. Chemistry behind the atomic bomb. The atomic bomb is what it is because of the driving factor, nuclear fission. This occurs when an atom in decay is hit by a neutron. This unstable atom is split and the 2 fragments release energy. Enough of these fragments start splitting and start a chain reaction in the bomb. The amount of energy being released is intense, and all this happens in the smallest fraction of a second. This sudden and expansive amount of energy releases and creates an explosion that is much greater than a conventional explosion from TNT or other more smaller uses. Nuclear weapon information continued. There are different ways in which a bomb can be assembled to garner this reaction. The gun assembly, a U-235 in a bullet form, is fired down a barrel into an unstable uranium-235 target. These 2 unstable objects create and start that chain reaction. This is what creates that explosion. Implosion. A critical mass of uranium-235 is surrounded by highly explosive materials. These explosives compress when they explode, and they compress that fissile where it hits a critical mass. This triggers the chain reaction we see in the explosion. The use of uranium and the sheer amount of energy released caused a large amount of radioactive fallout. The half-life of something like radiation and uranium is very long, so this was extremely detrimental to those close enough to the high radiation. This caused mutations and a large amount of cancers in those unlucky enough to be close to it. So this kind of touches on the lab that we did this week, where we studied half-life and natural background radiation. Well, this is a man-made radiation, of course, and there is so much of it that many areas were unlivable for years after, as we know now. But at the time, they didn't really know about the source of radiation behind it. But this caused mutations and populations, and it was just a mess overall. But it truly was the silent killer in the long run. References. This is my reference, and